What's up, guys? I am the Nearsighted Gamer, and if you've been following my my Facebook page, you know that I've recently been playing Tales of Berseria. So I just finished it like a couple of hours ago, and I wanted to talk about it while it was on my mind briefly and let you know what I thought about it. This is actually my first Tales game that I've ever played. I'm very aware of the series, and I know I'm familiar with it because my wife, if you would ask her, she would probably say that her favorite game is Tales of Symphonia. I know that there's several games in the series. I tried before with Zesteria, which was before this, and I've watched her play plenty of them, but none of them have really clicked with me. And for some reason, this one did. I think mainly that was due to the story. The story in Tales of Berseria is about Velvet, this girl who, uh, through a series of events, gets captured and she's held prisoner for 3 years and turned into a demon. And she's betrayed by her brother. So after she escapes, that's not really a spoiler, it happens pretty much early in the game. After she escapes, her one true goal is to just get revenge on her brother, and that she doesn't care what she has to do so. Throughout this, she ends up causing strife and turmoil to people around her towns. She's pretty much destroying the world just to get her revenge. That's all she sees. She's just focused on her revenge. That's all that's motivating her. She doesn't care what she has to do, who she has to hurt, and throughout this journey, she ends up joining up with other demons, an exorcist, which is people in this world who are tasked with eliminating demons and protecting people. She ends up coming up with one of them. Other characters, which I won't spoil, but she ends up forming this group, and they end up going together. And by the end of it, they all have their goal for wanting. They somehow end up, you know, not necessarily having the same goal as her, but they have their own reasons for wanting to do what they're doing, but that all their points meet at Artorias, who is her brother. They all have a reason for wanting to fight Artorias or take down the Abbey, which is the group that the exorcists fall under and which they're disbanded. So the Abbey and Artorias end up being the goals for people, everybody in her party. So by the time you get to the end, everyone has the same goal, but they all have the different reasons for getting there. And I may not make it sound good, but the way the story is, it just hooked me. I played the demo of it, and I played like 5 minutes, and I was like, I didn't want to really get too far into it because, with an RPG, the progress you make, you don't really want to have to go over again. So I played it. I saw how the style was. It kind of clicked with me. I don't know why this one did over all the other ones, but it clicked with me. So I got it. I tried it out, and I really liked it. The fighting style, for some reason this time, wasn't that bad. The story is what really got me into it and what really kept me going. The gameplay is Tales gameplay. If you've played any Tales games, you know. It's a typical JRPG. It's a very popular RPG series. This is like the 17th game in the series, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. So it's up there with Final Fantasy as far as, games are concerned and the quantity of them. Your typical RPG, you fight, you level up, you have your healing items and all that, but you don't necessarily use magic. You use arts, and there are various different types. You have your martial arts, there are hidden arts, things you can unlock after leveling up so far. But one gripe I have right off the bat is there are a multitude of arts for all these characters, and other than just equipping these arts and then trying them out to see what you like, and the brief description, the text description of what they have, you don't really know what they do. You can see the element and what type of element they usually use, but you can't. I wish you could get like a small, like a demonstration, to show what the move was, so you know what you want to use and deal with this situation. That's one thing I do take away from it, because I picked like a handful of arts for each character, and that's what I used. And they would use different ones whenever they were controlled by the computer. But for me, I would just use certain ones because I didn't want to go through the trouble of, equipping this and then trying it out, and equipping this and trying it out. Maybe that's part of the game. Maybe that's what you're supposed to do. But I didn't play it like that. Uh, the voice acting, it was definitely dubbed. I mean, they do small scenes, between characters along the way, animated scenes. The voice acting in those is fine. It matches up perfectly. But the 3D scenes that they do, sometimes the lips don't match up, but the way the models are animated is great. It's just about, the translation from Japanese to English. That dub kind of messed things up, so, people's mouths will move like for a second or so after or before they talk. But that's all about the translation. But the animated scenes in between characters, those are fine. I like the music in the game as well. The opening, the title intro music is great. It really gets you pumped to, get started on the journey and all that. The music you'll hear, the battle music's fine. It's really cool. All the other ones, town music, every place, the type of music that they have for it really is, appropriate for it. I didn't have any problems with that. And the way the game looks, it looks great as well. As far as other Tales games go, you can get different outfits, and I guess they're called accessories, visual accessories, hats, glasses, ears, things you can put on your characters. And when you do, you see them in the 3D scenes, not the animated scenes, but the 3D scenes. So however you have your character look, they have like, a goofy mustache or some goggles or elf ears. They have it there too. So that's pretty cool. I'm assuming all Tales games were like that before, but I think that's really cool. That's something that they have all of their own. Uh, like I said, I just beat this game recently, and I clocked in at like 81 hours. Yeah, so it's it's a definite JRPG in size and scope. But I did a lot of side quests, not all of them, but I did a bunch. So I would say that the actual running time for it would be more around, I'd say for sure, probably 60 hours or so. I definitely, or maybe it could be a little lower. But I like to take my time with games, do all this. I didn't want to rush through it. But 80 hours, 81 hours is what I clocked into my final running time. So if you like games that are like that, they give you like plenty of time to go through and do all that, then you like this game too. Let me think. Is there anything else? Talked about the story. I don't want to spoil the story, but I'll say the story is very compelling. It's not as lighthearted as most other Tales games that I've seen played. You know, guy and girl needs to save the world and help her out and possibly love, stuff like that. On this one, you are kind of like the bad guy. You join up with these pirates, and that's how you traverse the world using their pirate ship. But yeah, you're kind of like the bad guy. You're going around doing all this, terrorizing people. People are getting afraid of you as like the story progresses. So eh, you're not you're not worried about it either. Like you're like, okay, whatever I have to do in order to reach my goal, that's what I'm going to do. So you're kind of like the bad guy. You're not the quintessential good guy as you normally would, which is great because it's like a little twist on what you would normally do. So that was cool to me. I like the story. The presentation was I'm like a Tales game would be. I played on PS4, so yeah, it was really good. The gameplay, I liked it as well. It's a typical RPG type. There was nothing that I could complain about there. There's exploration, open places. The way the battles go are, you see the enemies on the screen, so you can choose to go towards them or they can come towards you. Not random battles. I actually prefer that in RPGs over the random battles because you can dictate what you're going to do. You level up your equipment by you can level up your equipment by you put it on, and after you earn a certain amount of experience points, then you permanently have whatever skills are on said equipment. So you'll have this on and you'll have it for a while, then you master it, and then you get the skills for it and move on to something else. So you can accumulate tons of skills, defense against fire, strength against this type of enemy, uh, this plus on your HP. You can accumulate all these skills by, trying and fighting. They really trying to emphasize you fighting a bunch because you want to level up these pieces of equipment so you can get as many skills as you can that you already have, and they'll be permanent on your character. And you just move on. So you're constantly switching around certain types of armor and equipment like that between characters, but each character has their own specific type of weapon and accessory. Those are specific to them, but then you have like, different types of armor and shoes, and you can switch those around between different characters. Also, you have titles, which are things that you get, from accomplishing things in the game that, you know, can give you different bonuses to your HP, and your stats will change depending on what title you use. You can switch those. That's a Tales staple. Pretty much, I think it's great. So, subscribe to my channel. Thanks a lot, guys. As always, be excellent to each other. Later, peeps.